It's new amp day in the Guitar studio. Let's check out the Victory Mark II Jack V30 and matching cab. I'm a little bit of a creature of habit, certainly when it comes to recording videos for the Guitar YouTube page and our socials. Actually, we check any of that stuff out. If you are following us on TikTok or Instagram, you'll see obviously me doing stuff in the studio. But the amp that we've been using for a while, which unfortunately has needed to be retired, was a Supro Black Magic. Really nice combo with a great clean that was brilliant for throwing pedals in front of. I was able to throw the quad cortex in front of it and the helix and all that sort of stuff as well to get all the sounds I needed. But very kindly by Victory Amps, they have provided us with this brand new setup for the studio, which you will see a lot of in coming videos, especially with any electric guitar. It's going to be our kind of our jack of all trades, so to speak, which, what a great segue on to the amp in question today. I mentioned this is the V30 Mark II Jack by Victory Amps. Now, you may recognise this a little bit. Back in 2020, this used to be called the Countess. There's a couple of new features to it, which I'm going to go over. I'm going to play some sounds on it, and I'm going to kind of... It's a bit of a spoiler alert because there isn't really a musical genre this thing can't handle. It's kind of, you know, the jack of all trades, as I've mentioned. So that's, you know, I'm going to kind of just show the full range of this amp. And one of the reasons that we chose to use it for the video room as well. So if you do want to check a certain portion of the video, it will be split up into chapters just in the description below, if you do want to just like check out sounds or something like that as well. And if you have liked the video or you have liked the content at all, then we would really appreciate you considering giving us a like and a subscribe. But let's just dive in and check what this thing's got to offer. So the previous iteration of the Jack was the Countess, and with that it was a 2-channel amp kind of made to go from really high headroom cleans to more of a kind of overdriven sort of rocky sound. But that absolute mad lad himself, Guthrie Govan, got involved with Victory Amps, and he helped them design this to be his kind of like fly rig amp. So if he did need to kind of condense stuff down, he was able to just, you know, throw it in a bag, throw it with the handy bag provided actually with it too, and then get all the sounds from that with maybe a couple of things pushing in the front. But you heard the distortion channel in the intro there. Let's just check out what this amp sounds like on a clean. Now what I'm going to be using predominantly is this Epiphone ES355 Shinichi Ubicata signature hollow body here. It's loaded with Gibson 57 classic pickups as well, so that's what's going to be giving me kind of the most of this sort of punch in the face with the amp. But I'll switch over to different guitars, sorry, in a later portion of the video, just so you can really hear how this handles with, say, some single coils or something like that. But let's just check out the clean channel, and I'll turn off any effects, and I'm using a Neural DSP going right into the effects loop as well, so that's all the time-based effects you're going to be hearing, all the distortion and the gain coming right from the amp. Lovely sounding clean channel and that, but I will admit that it feels really weird to not have anything behind it in terms of like delay or reverb or anything. I feel pretty bare. Let me know if you're the same in the comments below, of course. But the clean channel is a great platform, obviously, for pedals and just for, you know, clean guitar if you do need that. But one cool thing that I noticed with this is just, it's kind of to do with what I was saying earlier about this having like loads and loads of headroom, is that you can actually, so I'm going to crank the gain on the clean channel ever so slightly and just reduce the volume, because this does get to that kind of level of like really cool sounding rhythm guitar as well, and this is before we've even moved on to the crunch channel, so check this out. Like, still got a little bit of hair at the top there, but definitely still retains its clarity. So, you know, if you do just need that like pushed sound, then that clean channel is absolutely great for that, and you're obviously able to just ramp the gain up just a little bit more. But let's check out what the crunch channel of the jack is doing. Let me just reset my levels here as well. It's important to say at this point that it does have a 3-band EQ, but that's shared across all of the channels as well. So I've kind of left mine a little bit more just kind of flat, pushing the highs just a little bit, just because I am using like a big sort of hollow body Gibson style guitar here. But with our foot switch, I can actually just change over to our crunch channel there, and what I'll do is I'll ramp up the gain as I'm playing and let you hear where exactly that can go to. Plenty of scope in there for if you do need it to, you know, get pretty hairy again, much like the clean channel. You do kind of ramp it up, you start to get obviously a lot more gain with it. But the kind of comparison I feel between, and you'll hear this just in a second when I move on to the full Overdrive channel actually, is that the kind of max level of each channel is kind of the lower level of the other channel sort of thing. So I'll even show you here. If we set the gain and the volume, obviously, just let's make sure that I don't blow my head off here, and lower the Overdrive channel there, you'll notice that if I'm just playing something and then switch over to our Overdrive channel, so you see what I mean about those being, you know, like pretty similar in terms of their gain structure, that you can set them kind of, incrementally different. So if you do need that, it's not this huge jump to something else. You can have these like small sort of gain jumps and then control it a little bit more with your volume control on your guitar, or if you've got a volume pedal or something like that. Because being a full valve amp, this is running off of 6L6s, but with the ability to switch to EL34s if you need to. You're going to be able to get that sort of dynamic response that you would expect from a valve amp, and this is actually sitting on the low power mode just now, which it is 7 watts for the clean channel, and then it's 6 watts for the overdrive channel. Yeah, and it's 42 watts for the clean on full power, and then 37 on the overdrive as well, just in case you wanted to know the numbers there. But with the ability to run that at the lower wattage, it does mean you can kind of cook the amp a little bit more, but we're sitting obviously in quite a small room right now, so it's not going to be the loudest. But what I've got it at just now, this is a really good home volume. It's not going to, have any police call to your house or anything like that for too much noise. But while we're on the overdrive channel, let's see what the kind of scope is for that. Maybe kind of get a bit crunchier with it. So one of the other differences with the jack compared to the Countess, and this was one of the new features that I think a lot of players, and certainly myself, quite enjoy about it. So I've been using the foot switch for channel changing and stuff like that, but the jack actually comes with another foot switch as well. It's just this one here that says Nomad on it. Now, what that actually refers to and controls, it's basically just an EQ button that's on the back of the amp. It's just right around the back there. And you have a Mark 1, you have a Mark 2 setting. Now this is basically just, to my ear anyway, it's the kind of low end response of the amp, and it changes it, not particularly dramatically, but it's very much a different kind of like EQ control that's happening with it. So I'll do it on a clean first and see if you can hear it. I'm going to start on this is the Mark II sound, so this is like the new sound of the amp, and then when I hit the switch and there's a change in the EQ, that's just going back to our Mark I setting. I'll chuck a bit of reverb on there as well, just so we can maybe hear some of the tails kind of catching a bit of the EQ as well. So back to Mark II mode. Now I think it does kind of stand out a little bit more on the gain channel as well, so let me switch over to that and then we will hear it just in action again, starting on the Mark II, moving over to the Mark I just after. So yeah, that obviously just at the kind of your feet, you can change the total EQ shape of the amp, and especially when it comes to that low end stuff, which I think will come in really handy if you have several different types of guitars. So, I mean, that's a perfect segue actually to just have a little go on something else, just to see exactly how this is handling. So the Ibanez AZ here has got the capabilities to do kind of some of those like stratty in between tones, which I'm a personal big fan of as well. But say for example your set consists of that, where you're playing, you know, a hollow body style with humbuckers in it, but then you've got a single coil style of guitar as well. So let's hear what this sounds like. Again, Mark II version first. I've stuck a bit of the reverb on there as well. So tons of scope again. If you do have a slightly different style of guitar and you do have a different style of pickup as well, that's a really easy way without you having to get in, especially with it being just a shared 3-band EQ there. And just for those who are interested as well, I'll do a very quick on the clean channel, just kind of cycle through what the maximums and the sort of like the lowest points of the EQ is here. So actually tons of scope in there as well, just obviously depending on what kind of guitar you've got and what type of pickups you're throwing into it. And even just for fun, this is purely just for me as well. I'm going to do the old 13-year-old setting on it and see how well it handles with some incredibly, maybe unnecessarily scooped mids on there as well. listen, don't try that at home. I'm a professional. That's why I'm allowed to do that. But you know, this kind of amp here, it's maybe like you would assume that it's maybe a bit more kind of suited just to like classic rock style and maybe a bit more kind of rhythm stuff, but there is an absolute ton of gain in there, especially for, you know, like lead stuff like I've been kind of playing throughout the demo as well. The matching cab that's with this, I feel it's important to touch on, and that's loaded with V30, so obviously that's going to be doing a lot for the tone as well. But because this is, you know, quite an easy to carry about lunchbox head as well, I wouldn't see it being too much of a bother, obviously, you know, rolling up the gigs, especially if you're trying to keep things a lot smaller. This is going to be the biggest thing, is obviously rolling up with a 2x12 cab or a 4x12 or whatever you're using, but there is also a 1x12 companion cab with it as well, which has just got a single V30 speaker in it, which, I mean, that's your kind of standard, you know, when you're looking at any sort of kind of well-rounded cab. So I don't think you're going to have any issues, you know, getting the tone that you like, especially if you go with the combo. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what the Victory Jack amp can do. You know, I've made the jack of all trades joke a few times with it, but even Victory themselves are kind of, that's what they're championing with this amp. The fact you've now got that second channel in there, well, third channel, I guess you can consider it, with the crunch, it just makes it even more versatile. And whether it be, you know, clean stuff that you play, whether it be rock, whether it be metal, I think you're going to find a tone that you really, really like in this. Plus, it comes available in that lunchbox style head, and I don't think many people want to be carting huge heads to gigs anymore. But let me know what you think. Have you played this amp before? Are you a fan of Victory? Do you want to see us look at any other ones? Happy to compare this with some of the other Victory heads in the line as well. So do let us know in the comments below. And again, if you have liked the video, then please consider liking it and subscribing, because it really does help the page. But I've been Kieran, and this has been a quick look into our new studio amp, which is the Victory Jack head. Have a great day.